The year is 2021. I wake up at 3 p.m. because my sleep pattern is completely backwards. I slither out of bed. As my PC's powering on, I grab the closest clothes near me, throw those on, which is likely the same set of clothes which I've wore for over 2 weeks. I log into Discord and I immediately jump straight into a Discord server where me and my friends sit and congregate together all day. From that point on, I would spend my entire day sat in this Discord server. Even if I'm not directly socializing and connecting with anyone in there, I would just be there. And frankly, these people who I'd be in a Discord with didn't even value my presence at all, naturally, because of how abundant my presence was in their Discord server. And in rare occasions where no one's online in the Discord server, I would almost AFK queue Overwatch games with my mic on and try and connect with anyone in those games, talking to people, trying to find a friend. And sometimes I'd end up just talking to myself because maybe I queue a game of Overwatch and the rest of my team are all stacked up together in a party and it's just me. And they're in their own party chat, speaking amongst themselves, ignoring me entirely. And as this pattern of behavior continued, my barrier to entry in terms of friendship and the people I'd speak to would just get lower and lower. I'd spend time with people who I didn't relate to at all. We were totally misaligned. Maybe they even had bad intentions. Maybe they were a bit mean to me. This over time completely destroyed my self-esteem, amongst many other very negative detriments to my life, including like just having a total dependence on other people. I couldn't spend any time alone. Any time that I spent alone, I started to feel very inadequate and very bad. I experienced the extremities that this sense of dependence gets you. And because of that, I actually got to see how destructive and unhealthy it is for your life. And that forced me to actually make some changes and fix it, which is great. I'm very grateful that I was able to experience it in such extremes because I got to see how bad it is. But a lot of people, they don't experience it to that extreme and they live their entire lives with this slight sense of dependence on other people. They're always a bit needy. They're always seeking outside validation and being around other people, even when sometimes the most productive thing they can do is to be alone. And so far what I've talked about in this video is literally just symptoms of what the main issue could be. And that's just a few of my many symptoms. But this could manifest itself in your life in many different ways. Maybe you hop from relationship to relationship, not spending really much of any time in between at all. Maybe you struggle to focus with your work and you constantly leave your desk to go talk to someone, or you spend a lot of time in co-works doing very shallow work rather than like getting deep dived into your mission, and that's holding you back. Maybe you're a bit like how I was, and in any times of loneliness you reach for your phone or you reach for your Discord to try and speak to someone. Maybe you're AFK queuing fucking Overwatch games or Valorant games to try and find a sense of social connection. I had a 14-year-old young man just last week in my Discord server post about how he's addicted to AI chatbots. This problem's only going to get more and more serious as technology advances, and our understanding of ourselves and why we behave in certain ways remains the same. This shit can be really, really destructive to your life, and I see this even in guys who are at a higher level, guys who are running their business, guys who are quite a fair way through their self-improvement. They still have this sense of dependence on other people. I really believe that the foundations to self-improvement lies in our understanding. We have to first understand shit. I could give you some very autistic advice, but if you don't understand why this is happening, the advice will be lost on you. So allow me to jump onto my PowerPoint slides to explain to you some of the reasons which I found people get lost in this dependence upon other people. Let's go. All right, boys, I'm going to go through a few different reasons why you might have issues with your dependence on other people. Please bear in mind that you might fit into numerous of these categories, okay? But once you understand what the issue is, you can then move to solve them. That is the foundations of self-improvement. I think a lot of the guys on YouTube, they're putting out good advice, but they're lacking the nuance of the understanding. And to me, you need the understanding to make sense of shit. So that's what I'm focusing on. Just remember, it can be multiple things. So firstly, guys, abandonment issues. You have this deep-seated fear of being alone. This is usually caused by some sense of childhood trauma. So I want you to kind of think now, has there been like a traumatic event in my life where I've feared being alone? Have I feared someone leaving me? Maybe it's not even from childhood. Maybe it's from a past relationship. But this abandonment trauma is actually causing you to constantly seek other people's attention and company. And the problem is, it creates creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you're chasing people and you're constantly, you know, give me attention, they're gonna run away from you, man, okay? You need to be self-assured and confident with yourself. The good news is, guys, I don't think I was a victim of this. I actually don't, probably. The next reason could be low self-esteem. This is usually a product of bullying. You're kind of conditioned into thinking you're not worthy, you know? You're consistently treated badly, and you don't do anything about it because perhaps you want to be the bigger man. The absolute worst bit of advice I've ever heard, ever, and it just completely destroys people's lives. No, if you're not happy with something in your life, you should absolutely do something about it. And if that is, you know, punching someone in the fucking face because they won't leave you alone in school, then so be it. If you don't do anything about your circumstances, if you're not happy within yourself because you're not making money, and you continue to not try to make money, for example, you might find that you have a low self-esteem, because you're essentially telling yourself, I'm too lazy to do anything about it. With low self-esteem, you're looking for external validation because you can't validate yourself. You don't feel comfortable in your own skin. So when you spend any alone time, you start to feel really bad. You start to feel like dirt, like you're not worthy, you're a piece of shit. So ask yourself this: how do you feel when you're alone? Like totally alone, no phone, no distractions, you're just sat with yourself. This was me! This is something I really struggled with because I was a victim of that very slow, torturous bullying, the slow chipping away of the self-esteem because I wasn't sticking up for myself. So eventually my self-esteem was so chipped away that I just didn't feel worthy of anything. Felt like a piece of shit. Not good. The next reason could be emotional dependability, guys. Now this is when you struggle to self-regulate. When you're in a bad mood, you have to rely on others to lift your mood. You're not able to just be with your negative emotions and to flip them on their head or make sense of them. You're not able to force yourself into, once again, a good mood. You have to have someone else lift you up. And sometimes, guys, it helps. It helps to have someone who lifts you up. That's totally fine. But I think like this is like you need someone to help you. You cannot self-regulate. You could have this problem if you've been over-mothered, but honestly, this could be caused by many different things, and I could talk about it all day. What do you do when you're sad? Do you sit with your sadness? Are you content in your sadness and then you decide to sort of, you know, I'm gonna stop being sad now? Or do you have to rely on someone to get you out of that shit every time, you know? Self-regulation is very important. You do need to be trained to lift yourself up out of bad moods, because no matter how cool you are and how successful you are and whatever you have, you are going to have down days. You need to be able to pick yourself up rather than rely on someone else every time. And just quick bit of advice, great way to do this is to just not dwell in what feels comfortable to you at that moment. When you're sad, you might want to listen to sad music. You might want to lock yourself away from the world, and you might not want to smile. But if you do the total opposite of those things, you will find that you can force a positive mood. This wasn't me, guys, I don't think. Even though I did spend a lot of time very sad, I did kind of deal with it in my own way, in my own retarded way. I never went to anyone else to try and feel better. I spent a lot of time around other people because that was a good way to distract me, but I never sought their approval or their help. I was weirdly comfortable being sad. The next reason could be FOMO. Fear of missing out. You've heard this a lot. If you're not around other people, if you don't go to the party, if you don't do the thing, then god damn it, I might be missing out on so much fun. Fuck, I can't miss out on the fun. That's terrible. If I don't go to the party, maybe people won't like me as much anymore. Fuck, I'm gonna be in the call the next day and they're gonna be talking about how much fun they had and I'm not gonna feel included. Fuck, I have to go to the parties. I have to go to every social event. No. You have to become comfortable saying no to social events which don't currently align with you. Whether that's going to parties or if it's just a normal social gathering, but it just collides with something else you're doing, your work, for example. You need to be able to say no to things because there's always going to be things going on in your life. And if you're not able to say no, you're going to be quite stuck. Because, for example, for me, sure, when I was super depressed and anxious and living back in the UK in my mom's house, I didn't have many things to feel FOMO for. I didn't have any friends. I wasn't invited out. But now I'm in the position I'm in now where I've done the work and now I live an excellent life with amazing friends. There is always shit going on. Always. Every single day. I'm saying no to things. So as you continue to scale your self-improvement, FOMO will become more and more of an issue. So if you're feeling stuck with FOMO now, bear in mind, as you continue to grow, it's going to get harder and harder. This wasn't me. Of course, I've experienced FOMO. In a way, it's kind of natural. You do want to feel included in the conversations and so on and so forth, but this has never been a nagging pain point for me. I've never consistently folded on any principles or values or scheduling of mine for the sake of not wanting to feel FOMO. So, cool! Epic! Another reason will be social media, guys. Holy fuck. Mr. Zuck has us by the balls once again. Being constantly connected to people on a device which sits in your pocket that you can whip out at any time is horribly destructive. And no man, woman, child has been prepared evolutionary-wise to deal with such power. And honestly, if you constantly are connected to other people, kind of parasocially, like you open up your Instagram and you see stories, people doing this and that all the time, not only are you going to feel insane FOMO, okay, but when you do feel disconnected socially from other people, it's gonna feel very, very weird and unnatural to you. It's gonna become a massive issue. So, you watching this right now, check the app timers on your phone right now, okay? How long have you been on Instagram today? How long have you been on Twitter, Twitch, whatever it may be, however you live parasocially through social media? Be honest, is it an issue? Because recently, I've cut back on my Instagram usage, and quite honestly, I'm totally honest with you now, I feel quite fucking lonely. Man, I actually feel lonely because I've been conditioned to be constantly connected with so many people, and most of them I don't actually give that much of a fuck about anyway, but nevertheless I'm connected to them because I'm seeing their stories and their posts every day. And now that I've taken that away from myself, I genuinely feel quite lonely, and it's painful. I've been quite depressed over the last week, actually, if I'm being totally honest. But it's something that I've had to work through. Is this likely to be you? Being honest. Because, in my opinion, this is all of us. This is a big issue for everyone. Because like I say, not a single one of us was psychologically prepared for the advancement of technology in such a way. We were never meant to be connected to this many people 24/7 by literally just picking up a brick in our pocket. We were never prepared to constantly have instant replies to anyone that we wanted to talk to. We were never prepared to form parasocial relationships with people who don't even know we exist. I hope this gives you the tools to further understand yourself and why you might feel a bit too dependent on other people for your fulfillment, for your happiness, okay? And I hope this gives you the ammunition to begin combating that as well. And I also hope that you use this unselfishly as well and start to think for other people around you in your life who you care about. Which of these might they be suffering with? How could you possibly help and assist them with that? And in my opinion, once again, it comes from understanding, which is why videos like this are so important. So feel free to share this video with someone who might resonate with this message, okay? And also join a Discord server below. There's over 2,000 young men on self-improvement in there, all on a similar pathway to you. And a quick plug, I teach over 500 young men how to make money online through video editing. And you can join us as well. You can live a lifestyle of freedom, traveling the world with your laptop, and you can become well connected with very influential people. People like your favorite YouTubers, honestly. It's amazing. And it's a very legitimate and honest line of work that you can go down to achieve the lifestyle of your dreams. That's what I teach. And as you can see on the screen here, we're getting excellent results inside of the academy. It's no joke. You could be next, man. Check it out, link in the description. Take care, guys.